Welcome to the Gibb River Road, a journey through the heart of Australia's untamed wilderness. Stretching over 660 kilometres, this iconic route takes you through some of the most breathtaking and remote landscapes in the Kimberley region. From hidden waterfalls and ancient gorges to vibrant wildlife and cultural heritage, the Gibb River Road offers an adventure like no other. We will not only show you everything from the very start of El Questro all the way up into the Mitchell Falls Plateau.
Open this way up.
Excited for the helicopter and Mitchell Falls?
I am super excited.
But we'll give you some hot tip and guides right through to the end into Derby. Join us as we explore the cinematic beauty of this legendary road, capturing moments that will leave you in absolute awe. Get ready to embark on a journey of a lifetime. Welcome to the Gibb River Road. Now, starting off at the classic Gibb River Road sign, just as you turn off the main highway to endeavour the route, I wanted to share with you something that so many people miss out on, which is the bloody ladder here. We saw so many people, including when we first tried, climb up weird ways. Please remember this tip, there is one underneath that you can just simply pull out. Now, getting straight onto the road, the first section is all bitumen, which was a complete surprise to us. But the first stop was the famous and most beautiful gorge and waterfall, Emma Gorge. The road in has a few small paddles, no snorkel needed, and before you know it, we parked up and we make our way down the start of the track. All right, welcome to El Questro, baby.
Yes, we're starting the walk to Emma Gorge, which has a beautiful waterfall at the end of it.
Yep, so basically it's the first gorge that you do on the way before you hit and go down right into El Questro itself. It's probably we're only 35 minutes along the Gibb River Road, and I'm so excited. Like, this is the start of the epic adventure I've been waiting for years. I don't know about you, Mads.
No, I'm pretty keen. For the hike though, do make sure that you wear closed-in shoes like hiking boots, because there are some rock climbs along the way.
Yep, and just a couple money things. So it's $12 a day per person. If you haven't already booked accommodation, either down at the El Questro station or up here at the resort, but it comes with it. So we've got 2 private sites along the Pentecost River. So that actually came included in our camping fees.
Yeah, it worked out very well. And a big shout out to Jaspreet for the coffees today.
Yep.
To help us along the hike, to wake us up a bit before we jump in the water.
Yeah, Maddie was quite tired, so appreciate that one, mate. But let's crack into it. Woo. The first part of the walk is relatively easy, but you need to be careful of. You spotted Madison.
Snake!
First one of the day, hey?
Yeah, first one for the day. But that's fine, I don't mind snakes. They don't bother me. I just don't want to run into a saltwater crocodile.
The track itself is very well signposted. Whilst it's rocky, it is definitely not thong appropriate, as there are so many snakes, little creek crossings, and I came up with a good way to help make me feel like I was keeping the bloody snakes away. What snake number was that?
2 or 3 maybe.
So I'm using my GoPro's little whoosh stick to get rid of the snakes. But I tell you what, this track was an absolute gem of a walk through, with no inclines, declines, and it is absolutely good to go. A few things to note about Emma Gorge though, it is part of El Questro itself. So you can sign in and out if you're worried, even though there's no chance of you getting lost, so they know that you're still there. And it takes around 60 minutes each way, and most importantly, you have to pay a visitor permit of $22 per adult. Bit ridiculous if you ask me, but it is free if you're camping and have the permits included in your stay. What are your thoughts?
Beautiful. That's gorgeous.
Oh mate, this place, look at that. That's
Beautiful.
epic. I can't believe that. That probably took us only about 45 minutes to do.
Yeah, not
But
long.
how many snakes did you see?
5.
5 snakes. Yeah, there was so many. We just were speaking to the ranger on the way in. They're called black whip snakes. They're highly venomous, but they scatter off really quick, and there's heaps of people around here anyway. So I want to get in there and have some fun.
And I have a swim. It is beautiful.
I've been stuck inside my house too long. Can't stand being all alone. Wasting hours on my phone. I'm ready to go now. On my way. I fear hold me back. Is here to stay.
Now, after that amazing swim, we made our way out of the area and towards the big next location of the Gibb River Road. All right, so we've just arrived into El Questro, and I tell you what, it's pretty Gucci here, hey, but it was bloody expensive.
It was
like
$140.
Yeah, for 2 nights. But that does include your park, private pass, or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to head out to our private campsite. So we're along the Pentecost River tonight. Then we're going to go check out a lookout, and then tomorrow we're going to have a crack at the Questro Gorge. Sorry about the lighting. As well as Zebedee Springs, or whatever it's pronounced. And the gorge water crossing at the moment, they said it's about 700 mil. So I'll be assuming we're going to get some water over our bonnet. Into El Questro station itself, there are 2 small water crossings, and then the final one, which is a bit lengthy and not too deep, but such a beautiful strip of water nestled in between some of the nice palms, greenery and grass. The private sites which we're staying at for 2 nights cost us $140, which is absolutely whopping huge. But you do get the whole area to yourself rather than camped in with people. However, you do need to drive a few minutes to get to the entertainment where the station offers, like the pub, the fire and the food. Also, another recommendation is Pigeon Lookout at sunsets that looks over the Kimberley Ranges. A full drive is definitely recommended due to the water crossing and a couple of wombat holes on the way up where we actually surprisingly had to put it into 4 low.
So today I'm going to give you some quick little facts on the gorges that we're heading to today. The first one is Zebedee Springs. It's a 1.5 kilometre return walk to some beautiful thermal pools and waterfalls. You have to get there early though. We are heading about 6:30 now just to wait to get in because it's only open between 7 and then closes at 12 for private tours after. So get in there nice and early. The other one we're doing today is El Questro Gorge. We do require a forward drive to get into the first part for the little river crossing, but other people have said they've walked to that as well. The walk itself actually takes 7.2 kilometres return. It is quite a difficult walk the further you get in. There is a boulder that you'll have to climb up as well and a few little rock walls as well, but then that heads to quite a narrow, beautiful gorge. That's open all day, but we do recommend to take about 5 hours to do that one.
Zebedee Springs is a short walk through the prehistoric forest of Livingstone and the Pedamalis Palms, or however you pronounce it, to a series of inviting thermal pools and waterfalls. Now, the pools sit around that 28 to 30 degree mark all year round, and even in the wet season, it isn't a far drive from El Questro, and it seems like everything else around the area is quite short of a travel from El Questro station itself.
Yeah, it is home. Oh my God.
That is so warm. Definitely get here. As Mad says, half an hour earlier. There's so many people rocking up right now. But to me, it feels like 31, 32. I'll quickly drop in how many degrees I think it is right here. But look at that, mate. It's wild. Out of 10.
Oh, it's like a bathtub.
What about compared to Mataranka?
It's up higher,
Yeah,
definitely.
this is better.
Definitely. The review said, get in early, otherwise, unless you weirdly enjoy bathing with 100 people, it's not for you.
Moving into the main attraction, El Questro, where we find ourselves coming up to what I consider the deepest crossing in the gorge. And I'd even packed a water bra all the way from back home, literally just for this crossing. But I was absolutely shocked and later found out that the week before that they had actually filled it with dirt. As usually the crossing is bonnet deep with people losing their cars to water ingress and people definitely getting water inside their car. How nice is this walk into Questro Gorge, eh?
It is absolutely beautiful, and apparently there's a halfway pool along the way.
Yeah, so, and you have to swim across that pool to get right up to the top of the gorge. So we've got everything in dry bags, inside of our bags. So just any of our electronics, towels, anything that we don't want to get wet, highly recommend putting that in there. Now, if you manage to do the crossing, or if you don't decide to do the crossing, that adds an extra 10 to 15 minute walk to the gorge itself if you walk and you park your car behind it. But if you make your way across, El Questro Walk is a pretty big and is made up of two parts. I'd consider them before the boulder and after the boulder, but need to do both to get to the end of it for the main attraction. There's so many amazing little pools along the way, hey lads?
There are so many, so if you want to take a dip along the way, I recommend to do so.
It takes around 45 minutes to the first boulder, and you only get to see a small amount of water holes, which is still clear and really beautiful. But you will need to carry a wet sack to get to and above the boulder in the middle to take you further on, as well as the climb. The full walk is approximately 7 kilometers return in 1.5 hours each way, which we definitely recommend. We saw people with kids and an older generation people do it as well, but they were really fit, and the kids did need a fair bit of help, especially towards the end where you need to do the rock climb up until the final part. But it is definitely doable. You okay there?
Bring your family.
It's beautiful.
Oh. Sam, helping everyone.
Oh, I can't get over this walk, eh? This is stunning. Also, what were your thoughts on the baby train?
On the legs too short. And we finally made it up to the very top.
That's actually epic. What are your thoughts of the area then?
It is fantastic. It's such a cool walk, and the engine is amazing.
Check that out.
State of mind, a place I never heard of. I walk like a nomad. Can't stand being alone.
You gonna jump, Mads?
Ready to go now.
I jumped pretty close to that rock. Range! Oh man, it's good. Heading back to camp later that night on the Pentecost River, we cook up a good feed ready for tomorrow's expedition for our first real day on the actual Gibb River Road. Leaving El Questro, our aim today was to smash out a bit of the drive whilst looking at some big destinations before we turn off to a well-known location not everyone visits. Because of the tough roads, make sure you add these points on Wikicamp so you don't miss them along the way for this part of the Gibb River Road. Popping through our lookout, it wasn't long until we crossed the famous Pentecost River with an absolute epic backdrop. This is one of the most iconic river crossings I've been waiting for this entire Western Australia trip to do for such a long time. I had to get Maddie to do it so I could really get the shots. Quickly dropping into Home Valley Station that has just reopened after being closed for a couple of years, we track on. This part of the Gibb River Road from east to west is by far has the most corrugations and river crossings compared to the other end. Well, in our experience in July 2024, this was the case. Also, don't forget to stop at the infamous Ellen Bray station for their famous scones, and if you have the time to stop for a night at the station, it is well worth it.
Dairy in it.
But it wasn't long until we took the turn off into the Almighty Road up to Mitchell Falls and staying the night at the Gibb River crossing, which I highly recommend, given the freshly flowing river you can access straight from your campsite.
Oh my God, I'm just playing with them now, yeah. Oh my God, what she saying, say it loud, yeah. I can't respect it, I'm in the gym, but
One of the great things about our setup being off-grid is having Starlink, but most importantly, how we store it and the convenient bag we have it in from Undercover Australia that allows everything to stay stored in the high-quality Australian-made bag. Now, guys, that is legit. All we have to do is take out the dish, plug it in, while everything stays in the removable pouch inside, and we have the full confidence, full knowing whatever conditions we throw it in, the bag will protect it and those strong zips won't bust out. So Mads and I have just rocked up to the Gibb River free campground here that's sort of based all the way across the river, just as the turn off to Mitchell Falls, because we are heading up to Mitchell Falls tomorrow. But the plan is for the next few days we are going to tackle apparently one of the most corrugated roads in Australia, the Mitchell Falls Road. And then we're going to do the walk to Mitchell Falls, have a good barrafish, catch the chopper back, and basically just see where the adventure takes us. And I'm bloody excited. What about you back there, Mads?
I am so excited, especially for the helicopter ride. It'll be amazing to see the view, and apparently you can see salties down below as well.
Yep. So we weren't originally going to do the Mitchell waterfalls and tackle that road because we wanted to get over to Broome and we didn't really want to ruin our car, but we've met another couple and we're going to tackle it with them. Dangerous. All right, so I'll quickly jump in here and I'm going to tell you a couple of the casualties that we've had on the car so far, just day one on the Gibb. The road itself hasn't been too bad. A little bit of corrugations, but it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. First one we had go wrong was the side steps on the side had come loose. There was a 10mm bolt that had come undone underneath. So I've had to both replace that and the bolt head on it. Luckily I was carrying spares. I had two of the bolts under the underbody protection that had also come loose and was rattling around. And then we had a valve on the tyre. It must have slightly unscrewed within it and it was leaking when I had taken off the head when we went to drop the tyre pressures. But other than that, it was all rectifiable and I had the spare parts and it was easily fixed. Well, today's the day. We hit the tracks relatively early in the morning and we make our way up to the 4-tiered Mitchell Falls waterfalls up in the heart of the Kimberley. Everyone knows this track as one of the most corrugated roads in Australia, and to my thoughts, I thought this was including the Columbaroo roads to the turnoff. So I was loving life thinking, what was everyone talking about? But you'll see later on how wrong I actually was. With a quick fill up at Drysdale Station, we made our way up to the turnoff. Alright, so we're about halfway up to Mitchell Falls at the moment, and I just wanted to give a quick rundown on what the road's like so far, because obviously this has gotten its name from being one of the worst here in Australia. But I think it's been graded within the last week or two, and it's an absolute dream. We're sitting on 90, cruise control. There are corrugations, but we're sitting on 25 PSI at that speed, and it's just like a highway all the way up. It's absolutely unreal. And the dirt, the red colored, like real dark iron ore color is just, it's unreal, eh?
So here we are at King Edward River. You can use a day use area here, so you can go fishing as Samuel's got his rod, and also to do a bit of swimming. You can also camp here as well. It's a spot along before you reach Mitchell Falls to Drysdale. We recommend this campsite. It's quite a nice one, but we're going to head right to the top to Mitchell Falls so we can do the hike early in the morning. So that's why we're not staying here. Yeah,
so there's not too much to do at the Mitchell Falls campground. But here you can stay, and it's only like a 3-minute walk straight to the waterhole to keep you busy. It's pretty insane to see here how much water would come through during the wet season. Like this would 100% all be under, and now it's left to just like a little trickle. I think it's phenomenal. Nice little waterhole just there to have a little swim in. And I'm gonna go up and have a flick and see if I have any luck further up the river. Goanna, snake, something crossing the river there. Fish in this river, I've been told, consists of perch, catfish and the occasional barramundi, but I was definitely keeping a lookout for freshwater crocs and other big lizards that were around the area and possibly crossing the water.
Caught in the pond, go back up and play. Baby, cut yourself loose. cause a little trouble. And don't shed a tear, keep that sunny smile from eating ear and being.
Moving on from that, we finally hit the Mitchell Falls Road. Up into the National Park and Plateau, my hopeful comments before of thinking the road wasn't too bad quickly winded, and Mads and I, as you can tell, got over it pretty bloody quick. The corrugations were big, lengthy, and not even the speed in the low tyre pressures to 20 psi could even keep the roughness away. All right, this road out to Mitchell Falls, Wanderer Road or whatever it's called, is definitely worse than the road on the way up on the highway. Quotation marks, as I was explaining before. Little did I know at this point my welds on my sidebars had broken, but besides the negatives, the track-in was actually gorgeous, surrounded by many palms.
Now, bring the satisfaction for me now. Now that you're gone, now that you're gone.
What's happened here, Mads?
Corrugations were pretty strong and opened this way up.
That's actually scary.
I know, better put it in place and extra tight.
All right, how'd you feel about today's track-in, Mads?
It started off not bad, and then the corrugations got worse and worse as you went in, and the dust coming up got worse and worse, and now, I don't know if you can tell, but like this is just like red dust everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, feel like I got a little bit cocky at the start of that road. Like, it was all good, and then all of a sudden we took the turn off to come down to Mitchell Falls, and that took us over an hour to do. Like, it was just heavily corrugated rocks. But we got to the campground, and there's a lot more people than I thought that was going to be here, but it's a really nice campground. No water hole, clean toilets, and bore water. And then the plan is tomorrow.
I'm going to take my first helicopter to Mitchell Falls.
Yeah, I didn't even realise Maddie's never been on a helicopter, so that'll be something in itself, I think.
Very excited.
You're excited for the helicopter and Mitchell Falls?
I am super, super excited.
Would you jump off, Mads?
Not today. Ask me tomorrow.
That's quite a fall. So we've just gotten to a halfway point. It's about 800-meter walk just to get here, and I just throw some information about this whole Mitchell Falls experience other than the road in. So it's a 4.3 one-way walk. So far it's really, really easy, and there's two options. You can get a chopper in or a chopper out, but you must walk in or walk out unless you're doing the big expensive tour, which is like $800. And it's like, I'll throw in the exact numbers below, but it was $299 each if you did it with 4 people, and you got an 18-minute return, which did basically went around all of the waterfalls on the way back.
Otherwise it's $189 just for the small flight in or out of Mitchell Falls.
And that's only 6 minutes, and you don't get to do the entire experience. So if you can get 4 of you and do the 18-minute experience, it drops it by $150 per person. And that's definitely the way to go about it, we reckon, so far.
Yeah.
Like, heaps of people at campsite, make friends at the campsite to do something like that. But yeah, I'm so excited to get down there, check it out, and then get the chopper back. And unfortunately, no drones, which makes sense because there's heaps of helicopters going around.
So you have to have some GoPro footage.
Now, most people walk quickly and directly along to Mitchell Falls, but we definitely recommend stopping at the 2 waterfall locations, as already seen in the video. And when you get your way to the first glimpses of the big rocks about 3/4 of the way along, make sure you head down and have a look at the 2 platform waterholes and waterfalls that also overlook the Kimberley region. And now you can watch Maddie get stressed during the water crossing.
I've got your bag, Samuel. I've got your bag and I'm pulling in your bag. Can you get your bag?
Guys, we are coming up to one of the most epic lookouts of Mitchell Falls. This is absolutely phenomenal. How wicked is this view, mate?
Here at Mitchell Falls. Woohoo!
One of the good things about this area is you can actually have a swim near the falls. Not actually at the waterfall itself, which is what we did whilst we waited for our time to catch for the helicopter to arrive. Righto, mate, it's time for the chopper. What are you most nervous and what are you most excited for?
I'm most nervous about the takeoff because I've never been on a helicopter, and I'm most excited about the views of watching Mitchell Falls down, and I'm hoping to see some saltwater crocodiles too.
Chasing you, chasing you, chasing you, chasing you, chasing you, chasing you. To fall in love is easy, but that really doesn't matter, baby. No.
So was that worth it?
Definitely worth it. If you've never done a helicopter or if you've done them so many times, I recommend to do it. It was great to fly over, see Mitchell Falls. We got to see another waterfall.
And heaps of crocs as well.
So many saltwater crocodiles, but it was also cool to see where the fresh water met the salt water, and the change in the colour was pretty amazing.
Yeah, if you've got the spare cash, definitely do the 18 minutes. I mean, I was excited for it, but then after doing it, that was 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it was worth it. Do it.
Car's looking a bit dirty, eh, Mads?
I think we need to take it for a big wash, and also our hands, because mine are all red.
I tell you what, the red dust was absolutely getting into everything. So we made our way a bit later that evening across the famous Mount Barnett River crossing into the Manning Gorge campground. You want to tell us what's happened, Mads?
On the corrugations, the milk has spilt, and so as the mayo somehow popped up, so we got milk and mayo everywhere. Last year it was yogurt, now it's milk and mayo. I'd rather eat the yogurt.
All right, so good morning. We got in quite late last night because we've just gotten here at a place called Manning Gorge. As you know, we've absolutely gunned it from Mitchell Falls down here, filled up, threw our rubbish out, did the river crossing at Mount Barnett, which is like a really nice river crossing across there. Rocked up here last night and the campground's absolutely packed. They got a caretaker here, $25 per person, but it's right here on the gorge. You can literally wake up and make your way down to the gorge like we're going to do this morning.
Yep, so it's a 5-kilometre return walk. At the start, you'll already be swimming. They've got these little barrels that you can put your stuff in to swim across with. They used to have a boat, but I don't know what's happened to the boat. Once you get through that part though, it is quite rocky. And then you will head to the falls after, but they recommend not to do it after 2 or 3 p.m. as it is quite sun exposed and it is quite hot and you will get sunburnt. So either early morning or evening is the time to do it. Is a famous one, so I definitely say put it on your bucket list to head to.
Yeah, everyone we've been speaking to so far along the Gibb River is saying that this is one of their best inside with the Bell Gorge. So pretty keen to do this one, especially because you can do that really cool river crossing at the start where you put your stuff in the boat or whatever. So literally from the Dayuse area, you come straight up to the river where you need to go across, and hopefully either the buckets are on this side or this side, but for us, they're over that side.
I think the old method where you pulled the boat back and forth worked a lot better, because regardless, now I'm going to have to jump in, aren't I?
And go across and get it. And because I called shot not first, I don't have to do it. What are your thoughts?
It's going to be cold, but someone's got to do it. So tell us about your hiking gear.
This is the top end recovery kit, I call it.
You got the budgies on and the rock shoes, lovely.
Now the track itself to Manning Gorge is one of the easier ones in terms of terrain. That is easily arrowed and there's only 2 sections of rocks to get down, which may pass a little bit of a challenge. The ghost gun, by the way, I'll quickly drop in some information about these. They're not everywhere, but they're really cool to see amongst all the contrasting along like the red, orange dirt, and all the sort of You know, I think it's a limestone rock up here. I think it's pretty cool.
I think yours is a little better.
How gorgeous is this, Mads?
Get it? Gorgeous.
Manning Gorge, mate, this is bloody unreal. It's got a really big waterhole that goes all the way down, and then there's a waterfall with an amazing water pool right at the bottom of it, of course.
Yeah.
And then you can also go to the top of the waterfall as well, which we're going to have a crack at, because apparently that's even more spectacular up there. Woohoo!
It's amazing.
I definitely fished it off that top rock. Good dive. Well, I tell you what, that was probably one of the funnest waterfalls so far that I've personally experienced in the Gibb.
Yeah, it had great rock jumps, and also to be able to swim under the waterfall was beautiful.
Yeah, and there's heaps of area as well to swim in the water and stuff like that. Oh, you jumped away.
It's so cute, I want one.
Oh, one of the best things about finishing this Manning Gorge is that you get to swim just as you finish as well, which is great.
And he doesn't have to do the bucket again.
Yeah. So plan of attack for the rest of the day is we're going to go fill up at Mount Barnett, make our way to
Bell's Gorge.
Bell's Gorge, and then we're going to stay at Silent Grove tonight, and then have some lunch along the way and see how that goes.
Glad to see you doing some of the work finally.
I do it off camera, I swear. Alright, so I just wanted to quickly add in here, so we're about 29 k's past the Mount Barnett Roadhouse that we just stopped at, and we've been driving on bitumen for 20 kilometres now.
I know, so what's happened to the Gibb? It's all
Yeah, so it's something that I was really not expecting along this part towards the end. So I'll keep you guys in tune to see how much, because we've heard that once you get past Mount Barnett, heading from east to west, so heading towards Derby and Broome, there's a lot more bitumen and the roads are like significantly better along the way. So it's just something interesting I thought I'd quickly throw in there. I just had to pull over and just express to you guys how much I'm absolutely loving the surroundings of the Gibb River Road. Hey, like the orange dirt, red dirt, surrounded behind me by all the really big red cliffs. It's just, I'm loving it. Hey, it's so different to home. It just excites me so much. I just had to get out here and show you guys. The next gorge that you can do on the same day of Manning Gorge is what we consider one of the best gorges along the entire Gibb, Bell Gorge. Via the campground Silent Grove, which is the main campground that you'll want to stay at when you get to this location. Alright, so we have just rocked up to Bell Gorge. Obviously it's midday at the moment, so it's absolutely packed out, and all the touring buses are here at the moment. Like the amount of people that are here, it's ridiculous.
So it's a 1.5k to one of the first pools, and then an extra half a k, 2k's in total to the other section.
Yep.
They say on there it takes another hour, but it actually takes about 10 minutes. Apparently.
Yeah, we've just spoken to the guide, and they've said that it's only an extra 5 to 10 minutes or so. But the actual journey in, full drive car-wise, is you drive through, so there's about 2 river crossings. They're only about 300 mil high, don't really need a snorkel. You go through Silent Grove campground, and then it's another 10k's past that to actually come here to Bell Gorge. Mate, that's the it's the Aussie way, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, best shoes.
What are those?
They're my rock hoppers.
What are your thoughts on that?
Ah, natural infinity pool, not bad at all.
Yeah, I did not realise that this was such an easy walk, such a, like an amazing location. Like there's an infinity pool right there.
Yeah, so if you're heading the same way we did, do Manning and then do this one.
Yeah,
Easy one.
and then you can climb up over there, and then we're going to go down there, straight down to the bottom, and have a chill at this infinity pool once the other family's gone there. What are your thoughts?
It is amazing. Natural infinity pool, and the view could not even be any better.
Bloody epic. Mate, this has got to be one of the best gorges as we finish the Gibb River Road.
It is beautiful.
Oh, look at that. That excites me. That genuinely excites me.
So you're going to go and do a big jump in the pool?
Yeah, there's another jumping rock down there. And I'm a sucker for them. Even though I bitched on the really top one on the other one. But I'm still a sucker for them. I must add in here, the last 500 metres to get right down to all the big swimming hole bit is definitely a bit of a climb down some rocks.
It is. So don't do a Samuel and wear your thongs.
Oh, it's fine with thongs. Well, I reckon, but you know. Jump time, baby.
Here we are at Bell's Gorge, and it is a 10 out of 10 for me.
That was so lame.
I do it again.
No, you can't do it again.
Don't put that in.
Leaving Bell Gorge, we make the short 10-minute drive back to Silent Grove Campground. You want to tell us what you're doing, Mance?
I'm cleaning out the cupboards because the red dust has gotten into everything and into our cupboards. So I'm having to wipe it all down.
In the fridge?
And
We haven't done the fridge from last night yet, have we?
no, so the fridge with the corrugations, I had mayo, milk, all decided to spill, and on top of that the sparkling water decided to explode.
Yep. So that's our plans for the afternoon here at Silent Grove. Maddie's plans while we're here at Silent Grove for the night. We're literally just going to do like a little admin day because we've been like go since we've been on the Gibb River. Like I think Mitchell Falls, whilst it wasn't as bad as we thought it was, the amount of dust and little bits and bobs that we need to catch up on is going to be our afternoon here. But then tomorrow we're going to be cracking up to Tunnel Creek.
Yep.
And we're going to be having a look at those freshwater crocodiles apparently in amongst that walk, and then staying at Winjana Gorge as like our last or second last night on the Gibb River Road.
Before we head to Broome.
Yeah, I'm so bloody excited for that. But I think, what do you reckon your favourite gorge has been so far? Since probably Bell Gorge is the last big swimming one other than Tunnel Creek.
Look, I would have to say it actually was Bell Gorge.
Yeah.
What was
that
yours?
Was yours? I think the most picturesque one would have been Emma Gorge. But the funnest one definitely would have been Bell Gorge, which is what we just went to, just because it's such an easy walk. You know, there was a jumping rock. That's always a big tick in my box. And yeah, that's about it. Forgot to add in there how much the campground was.
$20 per person.
Then this morning is a very different morning for those travelling along the Gibb River Road. As the attraction we are going to, I know for a few people opt out on because of this, because they're scared of the rumours about the crocodiles. And I'm here to say, don't be at all, as there are a few and so many people to keep them away. Ooh, crocodilias!
So because it's quite dark, we've got 2 sets of head torches, one for me, one for Samuel. But we've also just glad wrapped or put in a plastic bag another big torch.
Snaplock bag is probably the word you're looking for.
Yeah, that's the one. We've also got a dry sack where we've kept our towels, GoPro, drink bottles, and some reef shoes and your swimmers. And that's about it. And get ready for the cold. You
Yes.
can bring a pool noodle as well if you want.
Yeah, because there's a crossing about halfway through, isn't there? You got to actually swim.
Yeah.
If you want to go all the way through to the end. Also, I just realised I hadn't told you guys a little update on, because I've been trying to keep you guys up to date with anything that's been coming loose on the vehicle. I was about to go 24 hours with nothing coming loose at all, but then the cruise control has completely stopped working in the car just randomly. I have no idea. That's such a random thing to
Could
go
do
wrong.
with the corrugations causing some, I don't know, looseness in the connections
Yeah,
or something.
or something like that. But a couple behind the scenes as to what this walk is about, mates.
So it's a 2-kilometre walk into the tunnel or the gorge. Now you will have to swim as well, so make sure, as I said, have your head torches.
2 kilometres return, right?
Return, yep. It is sharp rocks as well, so be careful. There are bats, freshwater crocodiles, and some fish in the water as well. So hopefully we might get to see a freshwater crocodile today.
Yeah. Apparently there's only 6 that live in there.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I'm not sure how true that is.
You keen to go into that cave down there, Mads?
I am, so I brought my head torch.
Are you going for a swim?
I've already gone for 2 laps. Stalactites, because they're holding onto the roof nice and tight, and then stalagmites, because they might grow.
Oh, this place is so cool, hey? Like you're walking through a cave, just like a standard wide cave, but there's heaps of water, and just knowing that there's like crocodiles and stuff like that around here is just a little bit eerie. And he was nervous, mate. He was like, "Oh, I'm nervous as we're coming in."
Nah, I feel a little bit better now.
You feel better? There's heaps of people around as well, so. Couple hot tips: whatever you do, have everything in a dry bag, and for a light, bring something stronger than a head torch. As the cave is so big, it actually does bugger all, and we end up having to guide a few people with us with our spotlight through the cave. How many crocs did you end up seeing, Mads?
Only one little bugger.
Yeah, and it was tiny, wasn't it?
It was tiny, it was only about that big. So I managed to convince Samuel to come all the way to the end with me. And are you glad you made it?
Yeah, I don't like tunnels. I'm very claustrophobic.
Especially dark tunnels with crocodiles in it. But I'm very proud of him, we made it to the end, and now we'll head back and maybe we might see some more crocodiles.
Also, do yourself a favour and turn the light off while you're walking in the cave for like 30 seconds.
For an extra little spook.
It was like, oh my god, if we got lost in here, you'd be screwed. I was able to capture some of the footage for you guys at the end via phone, as our camera and GoPro just wasn't good enough in the extreme low light to capture the inside of the dark cave. Well, that was epic.
Yeah, so that was Tunnel Creek. It was just under 2K's return. We only saw one little freshwater crocodile eating something. Some people said they saw some others as well.
And a bat.
And a bat.
You really wanted to see a bat?
And I saw a frog and some little fish as well.
Yeah, and the swim across is only 10 metres, but you do actually have to swim. You can't touch the bottom. But it's warm most of the way. The water's not too cold. But yeah, so a couple of other ones that we missed along the way that we realised, Galvin Gorge and Adcock Gorge. Yeah. We just read the reviews and they weren't the best, and we didn't really want to keep stopping at 1,000 gorges along the way where you can just go in, look at them, because it's not...
So we decided to bypass them.
Yeah, decided not to. So where we're going to go from here is we're going to go check out Winjana Gorge, potentially stay at the campground there, or there's a free camp as well, isn't there?
Yeah, it's the RAF campground as well. Apparently that's meant to be great with some caves around in the surrounding area.
Yeah, and then that sort of makes us heading towards the end of the Gibb River Road, isn't it? Like it's sad, we're getting to the last couple of little areas now.
At least we can say we survived the Gibb River Road.
Yeah, I mean some parts of the car rattle off, and a couple of the other people we've met along the way, they said they had the same dramas. I feel like as long as you have a good spanner on hand to tighten things up at the end of each day, definitely makes a difference. All dry in there?
All dry.
Dry bag worked.
Kmart dry bag.
Cause a little trouble, don't shed a tear. Keep that sunny smile from eating.
What does that say, Mads?
Cane toad disposal area. Yuck.
I've never ever seen one of those.
Oh, they must have been all the way, they must have made their way all the way over here. They're disgusting.
Yeah, and that view. Look at that.
We're at Winjana Gorge.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that, Winjana Gorge.
Winjana Gorge.
Whilst we didn't end up doing the Winjana Gorge itself, we have heard very good reviews about it. And this is the only major gorge attraction we did on the entire trip that we decided not to do along the whole Gibb River Road, as we had missed out and run out of time. Because we decided to do Mitchell Falls and everything over 6 days, including El Questro, and we were keen to get to Broome. Cheeky iced latte stop at Winjana Gorge.
Yes, on our way to Broome.
Yes. Alright, well Mads and I, we've just turned off the Winjana Gorge to continue down the Gibb, and we've seen everybody, let me just turn this off a little bit so it's not so loud, and we've seen heaps of people pull over, and I'm like, I thought we're going to have to re-air up when we see the next Gibb River Road sign, which I was really excited for, but it seems like this is the end of the dirt road, because down there's a sign that says 110 and it's now bitumen, which means one of two things. Matty can now drive and I can relax in the passenger seat, and number two, I can finally take off the snorkel sock, which is the second one along the way, so that one can finally be off. And number three, the cruise controls come back on, so we should have no more issues with any more rattling around on the Gibb River Road. How good is that?
And no more red dirt for a while.
And no more red dirt, exactly. Alright, bit of deja vu here. How does this one look compared to the one at the eastern end, you reckon?
I reckon this one looks better because we finished the Gibb Road.
Yeah, 100%. And there's a lot less stickers on this one, but that is all done. The Gibb River Road completely done, ticked off the list. And now we're going to be heading to Broome for the next adventure, and I cannot wait.
I heard there's good light in Broome, Samuel.
And we've been listening to that song, if anyone knows that song. We'll see you next time.